The forest of Arkesh was alive with whispers, vines that hummed, spores that pulsed like heartbeats, and predators that didn't walk or crawl, but floated. It was a death world, a green labyrinth where even sunlight dared to step carefully. And that's where Elias Ward, a stranded human xenobiologist, found himself 2 months after his shuttle crashed. His supplies were gone. His comlink was dead. Yet somehow, he managed to survive by studying the strange flora that tried to kill him every other day. But the forest had rules, and he was about to break one without even knowing it. 2. The wounded creature. He heard it before he saw it. A scream that rippled to the forest canopy, sharp enough to make the trees retract their branches. Elias raised his plasma flare and followed the sound until he stumbled upon her, a young alien woman, tangled in vines that oozed glowing venom. She was unlike anything he had cataloged. Her skin shimmered like polished amethyst, dotted with bioluminescent freckles that flared when she breathed. Her eyes, slit pupils and pools of silver, locked onto his. When Elias moved closer, she hissed. Her fangs bared, long and needle-sharp. "Stay back, human," she spat, though her voice trembled. "You can speak Galactic Standard," he said softly. "Good. That means you understand me. You're bleeding out. If I don't help you, you'll die." She glared, trying to pull free from the vine, but its thorns pulsed deeper into her leg. The venom was turning her veins black. "Better die free than a human," she hissed again, but her strength was fading. Elias sighed. "Guess we'll argue about it later." He sliced through the vine with a survival blade, ignoring the acid hiss as it burned his sleeve. Then gently, he lifted her into his arms. Her body was fever-hot, her breath shallow. As he carried her to his shelter, the forest seemed to go still, watching. 3. The bite. Hours later, she awoke to find herself lying on a bed of moss inside a half-collapsed escape pod. Elias was grinding herbs, mixing them with a thick paste of carbon and nanite dust. "Try not to move," he said. "The toxin spread far. I neutralized what I could." "You shouldn't have touched me," she rasped. "My kind are not meant to be handled by yours." Elias arched an eyebrow. "You're welcome." She studied him, his callous hands, the scar across his jaw, his eyes steady and calm. "You don't fear me? Should I?" She leaned forward, baring her fangs again, 2 gleaming white blades that curved slightly backward. "My bite carries a neurotoxin. Any alien, even predators of Varkesh, die within seconds." Elias didn't flinch. "Lucky for me, I'm not an alien." Her lips twitched, half amusement, half warning. "You think your human body can resist my venom?" "I think your people have never met someone from Earth," he said. "We got our own poisons." She looked at him strangely. Then suddenly her hand shook, her body convulsed, and she bit her own lip as if suppressing a scream. The black vein spread again. "Damn it," Elias muttered, pulling out his injector. "The antidote's not working fast enough." Before he could act, she lunged. Her hand clamped on his shoulder, her eyes blazing. "You can't stop it." And then she bit him. He felt a puncture like twin firebrands, the venom rushing into his blood. Elias shoved her back, dazed. "What the hell?" She stared at him in horror. No. You'll die." But he didn't. He staggered, breathing hard. His vision blurred for a few seconds, then cleared. That tingled. She looked at him as though he'd just defied a god. Impossible. No being survives a bite from a Cerati. "Well," he said, rubbing his neck, "guess you're not used to human biology." For the Cerati curse. Her name was Lyra, and over the following days, she told him the truth. The Cerati were apex hunters, evolved from venomous serpentine ancestors. Their bite was sacred, both weapon and curse. They used it only to defend or to claim vengeance. "If I bite someone," Lyra said quietly, "it marks them for death. Their body breaks down from within. But you didn't die. You carry it now. The venom, bound to your blood. You are neither prey nor kin." Elias watched the faint glow of her skin in the twilight. "Maybe I'm immune." "No," she said. "You've changed." He laughed. "I've been called worse." But Lyra wasn't joking. In the nights that followed, Elias began to notice things. He could see in the dark, perfectly. His reflexes sharpened. He could hear the heartbeats of small creatures in the forest. And once, when a vine beast attacked, he struck it, and his hand glowed faintly with the same silver light as her eyes. She saw it too. "You're adapting," she whispered. "The venom's rewriting you." 5. Between 2 worlds. They traveled together after that. She needed to reach her people's temple deep within the jungle, and Elias needed a signal tower rumored to stand near the same place. Along the way, they learned more about each other. She teased him about his awkward tools and clumsy human gait. He teased her for talking to trees and bowing to lightning storms. But beneath the humor, something else grew. Trust. The kind born from shared danger and sleepless nights. Once, during a storm, Lyra admitted softly, "My people hate humans. They say your kind strip worlds bare." Elias poked the fire. "We did. We still do. Sometimes. But I came here to study, not to conquer." She tilted her head. "And if your people come for this world," he looked her in the eye, "then I'll stand with yours." The firelight reflected in her gaze. Something flickered there. A strange warmth. maybe confusion, maybe longing. 6. The hunt begins. By the time they reach the obsidian cliffs, they weren't alone. A Serity patrol had tracked Lyra's scent, warriors with obsidian armor and venom-laced spears. They encircled the two travelers. Lyra of House Vector, the leader, hissed, his voice low and cold. You betrayed the hunt. You consorted with prey. He saved my life. Lyra shouted. And you repaid him with the curse bite. The warrior sneered. You tainted him. You know what must be done. Elias stepped forward. She owes you nothing. The Serity laughed. You think to challenge a Venomborn? Elias's eyes glowed faintly silver in the dusk. You might be surprised. 7. The venom within. The battle was brutal. Serity moved like shadows, striking from every direction. Elias fought with strength he didn't understand, his blood humming with alien energy. He moved faster than thought, his senses tuned to every vibration. When one of them slashed his arm, he barely bled. His wound sealed instantly, leaving behind a faint shimmer. Lyra fought beside him, her fangs bared, her whip crackling with bioelectric charge. Together they held the line, back to back, until only the leader remained. The warrior hissed, circling. You're no human anymore. You're a mockery. Elias's voice was low. Maybe, but I'm hers. The Serity lunged, but Elias caught the spear mid-strike, twisted, and drove his glowing hand into the warrior's chest. A flash of silver light, then silence. The remaining Serity fled into the jungle. 8. The truth of the bite. After the battle, Lyra knelt beside him. You shouldn't have survived any of that. You should have gone mad from the venom. Guess I'm just stubborn, he said weakly. She placed a hand on his chest. Her skin cool now, her bioluminescence fading. You don't understand. The venom isn't just poison. It's inheritance. My ancestors' essence. Elias blinked. You mean, when I bit you, she said softly, I bound you to me. My venom made you part Serity. He froze. Part? Lyra looked away. You carry my lineage now. My life force. It's why you survived. For a long moment, neither spoke. The jungle whispered around them, and the stars burned cold above. Finally, Elias said, half smiling, so what you're saying is we're connected. Her cheeks flushed a faint violet. Bound, actually, for life. 9. A new beginning. They reached the temple days later, an enormous structure carved from living stone, glowing with veins of silver. There, Lyra performed the rite of mending, begging the spirits of her ancestors to accept Elias. At first, the temple rejected him. The walls trembled, the carvings flared like molten glass. But when he stepped forward and pressed his hand to the altar, the glow of Lyra's venom pulsing within him, answering the temple's call. The energy calmed. The temple recognized him. Lyra stared in awe. You are accepted. Does that mean I can finally call you my friend? He teased. She smiled, for the first time without fear. Something more, perhaps. 10. The bite that changed everything. Weeks later, when his rescue beacon finally activated, Elias stood at the edge of clearing, torn between two worlds. The human ship hovered above, ready to take him home. Lyra stood beside him, silent. You could come with me, he said. My people would hunt me, she replied, and your kind would fear me. He hesitated, then touched a faint scar on his neck, where her fangs had pierced him. Then maybe I'll come back. Lyra smiled faintly. You'd better. My venom's in your blood. If too long passes apart, she leaned close, her breath warm against his ear, you'll start to crave the jungle again. Crave me. He grinned. Guess that's one side effect I can live with. She reached out, her fingers brushing his. Until then, human. Until then, Serity. As the ship rose into the clouds, Elias looked down at the forest and saw her watching, silver eyes glowing like twin stars. Inside him, her venom pulsed, not as poison, but as life. The bite that should have killed him had done something far stranger. It had made him hers.